It's my pleasure to be your co-host this morning. And I'm sure we're going to have a great networking opportunity.
Madeleine has an infectious enthusiasm with great commitment to her vision. But today, we welcome her and we thank her for her passion and support.
Aujourd'hui, nous la recevons et nous voulons la remercier pour son soutien.
To grow women in entrepreneurship,
pour amener la croissance de l'entrepreneuriat de femmes.
Infrastructure and sustainable energy development.
Infrastructure et du développement durable et d'énergie.
Thank you, Madeleine.
Nous remercions Madeleine.
And it is with equal great pleasure that I will also introduce Dr. Mrs. Olabisi, the visionary behind GWIN. So it's my pleasure. Can we please put our hands together? Dr. Mrs. Olabisi has also worked in partnership with the IFCA at the private arm of the World Bank Group.
I feel very privileged.
Je suis très privilégié
to have been invited
d'être invité
and given the opportunity to
et donner cette opportunité de parler
to our gracious hosts, the South Africans.
À nos invités de l'Afrique du Sud, du pays d'accueil d'Afrique du Sud.
I want to say a special thank you for your
Je voudrais vous remercier
for your hospitality.
Pour votre hospitalité.
It's matched only by the beauty of your country.
C'est là, ça se montre par la beauté de votre pays.
I think that the best way to share as a woman today is for me to testimony and to share about our professional experience as a woman of Africa.
Yes, we can.
Oui, nous pouvons.
Take action, whatever, but at the end it says all we need is the opportunity.
Yes. Tout est important, mais à la fin on dit tout ce que nous avons besoin c'est une opportunité.
So I'm sure for the women of Africa, now is the time.
Je suis fier pour les femmes de l'Afrique, réellement ça c'est notre temps.
It has been proven that
cela a été prouvé que
Africa now is being recognized as the economic hub of the world.
Que l'Afrique a été reconnue comme un atout économique du monde.
One of those days that Africa was taken as a dark continent.
Non pas comme les jours du passé où l'Afrique a été pris, le continent africain a été pris comme une zone noire.
Associated with poverty.
Associé à la pauvreté.
Associated with unemployment.
Associé au chômage.
As well as inequalities.
Et l'inégalité. La femme doit
know what she wants to do.
doit connaître ce qu'elle doit faire.
Without knowing what to do,
sans connaître ce qu'elle doit faire,
going around,
aller,
it's wasting of time.
aller passer par là, elle doit être assise.
Draft out what she wants.
Elle doit écrire ce qu'elle doit
And
faire.
then, what's her priority first?
Écrire les priorités, premièrement.
That priority will lead her where she wants to go.
Ces priorités vont l'amener à aller
This
où
is
elle
what
va.
she has to do.
C'est ce qu'elle doit
And then
faire.
something will come out.
Et puis les autres choses vont suivre.
I can just support that. I mean, I
Je
think
peux
at some
soutenir
point
ces idées.
I realized that I was also just scattering myself everywhere. And like I said, I'd said yes to everything. And
Je sais que
suddenly,
je dis oui à toutes choses.
there was no specific focus, and I really
Il n'y
needed
avait
to
pas
sit down and
un
get to
centre
grips with what was my focus, because
Je devais me
until
forcer pour voir quel
I
est
was
mon
putting
but.
that out, the
Je
right stuff
l'avais
didn't
écrit
come
cela.
to me. So it's really, as much as an outward journey, it's also an inward journey.
C'est-
As to understanding what you really want out of the world.
Ça vous permet de connaître ce que vous voulez dans la vie, vos
I
expériences.
think the reason you're all here is to network anyway, isn't it? It's to meet new people, seize opportunities,
La raison qu'ils nous sont rassemblés,
look
c'est
for
pour
new ideas. So I think you
échanger
do
des idées,
exactly the right
des
thing.
opportunités. Vous faites une bonne chose.
At the end of the day, I refer to my mother as being the main driver
Je
in my
réfère à
life.
ma mère.
I got very lucky.
Inspiré.
In the 1980s, I worked for two of the largest entrepreneurs in the UK.
J'ai travaillé pour d'autres
And I
entrepreneurs.
learned a lot about how to build a business
J'ai
from
beaucoup
there.
appris comment faire des affaires.
More importantly for me,
Ce
I
qui est
learned
important pour
how
moi.
not to do it. Because these were
Je
two
pouvais pas le
guys who had massive profiles,
Mais
massive
vraiment,
personalities, which I didn't want to have.
ça a demandé la
I think the
personnalité.
key is networking with as many people as you
Ce qui est
can,
important, c'est
as
l'échange,
often
les
as you
réseaux.
can, and take from those relationships what you can.
Et
And use
prendre ce que nous pouvons.
For me, it's a challenge
Pour
because
moi, c'est vraiment un
mine
obstacle,
is
puisque
so not as clearly defined as his is.
puisque
There's really
mes expériences sont différentes
no
de celles
idea from
des
one
autres.
day to the next whether you are or
C'est du jour au
aren't
jour que tu
good.
apprends comment aller.
And like I said, I'm up against really big multinational companies, and so when you're working
Je suis
with
encore
really
très loin d'être une compagnie multimillionnaire.
large-scale kind of urban development, the competition is
Il y a la compétition.
something that I wasn't necessarily anticipating.
Okay. Thank you very, very much.
Merci beaucoup.
I think that what we just had is just a little bit
Je pense que nous devons
of dialogue
un
in
peu
terms of
le
what
dialogue.
it's like to actually start from nowhere, nothing,
En
and
commençant par
to
commencer
actually
du néant
get there to that multi-millionaire,
et d'être un jour millionnaire
to that level where
à ce
it
niveau.
doesn't really matter whether you're making millions or not, as long as it's
Ça ne demande pas
rewarding
là où
and
vous
you're
faites c'est
doing
de
it.
générer beaucoup de millions.
And
Comme c'est
to
comment vous
the
travaillez.
wise advice that we've been getting from you.
Merci
So thank
pour
you
les
so
conseils
much.
sages.
Thank you very, very much. I
Merci
think,
beaucoup.
yes, we can.
Merci, nous pouvons.
I'd like to say that we still need the opportunity.
Et je dis que nous avons toujours besoin
But we
d'opportunités.
are getting prepared.
Nous sommes préparés.
And Africa is really the place
L'Afrique,
where all the
c'est une
emerging
place où
new developments are coming.
toutes les nouvelles initiatives de développement sont en train de ressortir, d'émerger.
Thank you.
According to the utility company,
À propos, concernant l'importance de la compagnie,
the device is supposed to help save energy during the peak time. And this ESCOM is doing in order to help cut the cost of electricity consumption on households.
Many of us as women, we've taken up this challenge to be the mother behind Mother Nature.
Basically what we do is to provide low-income rental accommodation. The one thing that I want to highlight on this slide
ce que je voulais épingler sur ce point,
is the issue around urban regeneration. Because we realized quite a few years ago that if you go into a difficult area, like the inner city of Johannesburg, where you've got a lot of slumlords, you have a unique opportunity not only to create accommodation that's well managed and maintained,
vous avez l'opportunité non pas seulement de créer les logements qui soutiennent,
but also to create healthy living environments in and around your buildings.
et aussi de faire comment est-ce que nous pouvons faire cela dans un environnement viable.
And build confidence between us,
Et être vraiment confident entre nous
to share ideas and advise each other,
pour partager nos idées et opinions,
to let the women of the world speak in one voice,
pour que les femmes du monde entier puissent parler d'une seule voix
and to be active participants for sustainable growth.
et d'être participantes du développement